throughout the morning. Right, it is 5:41. We'll get across more of your check-ins shortly. Just one brief one from Frank, Early Breakfast Club member 423. Morning, Frank. Thanks for getting in contact. He's checking in from Edinburgh. He says he's off to buy more popcorn in anticipation of watching the further crumbling of the SNP cabal, finally loosening their grip on Scotland. Well, we are going to talk about the SNP and about Scotland now. We'll get you up to date with the latest from the Scottish Government as it is set to launch a legal challenge to Westminster's bloc on its controversial gender reforms. Let's talk to John Boothman. He's with us this morning, Sunday Times Scotland political correspondent. Morning, John.
Morning. I've got loads of popcorn.
I thought you might. Can Frank pop round to yours, please? In that case,
would be great, yeah.
Right. We'll sort that out. But look, let's take a serious look at this issue at the moment then. A new First Minister, of course, in Scotland, Humza Yousaf. He has previously described Westminster's move as an undemocratic veto. John, just put us back in the picture. Remind us what this is all about.
We shouldn't be surprised at this move to go to court. You'll remember back before Christmas, in a very rushed timetable, the Scottish Government put through the Scottish Parliament, and it went through with a hefty majority, that gender recognition bill, which gave more rights to trans people. It reduced the age at which people could get a gender recognition certificate and the time that it would take for that to happen. That proved very, very controversial, may have played a part in Nicola Sturgeon's decision to leave office during the SNP election campaign. Humza Yousaf signalled he would challenge a veto that came from the UK government after that bill was passed, saying that there would be adverse consequences for gender legislation throughout the UK. Two other candidates in the election, Kate Forbes and Ash Regan, had different solutions. Ash Regan said they should abandon any court challenge. Kate Forbes said they should get it sorted out in the Scottish Parliament themselves. But Humza's now pushing out ahead with that challenge. Very, very controversial. I spoke to a number of SNP backbenchers yesterday. They're worried that, one, this is very unpopular with the public. Two, it's been divisive in the SNP. Three, it will cost a lot of money to progress. And four, it will take a long time to go through the courts.
It is interesting that he has decided, Humza Yousaf, to, get on with this immediately. I mean, he's barely got his feet under the table, and yet he is ready to take on a constitutional showdown with the UK government. Do you think it's wise?
I think he's caught between a rock and a hard place, though. To mix my metaphors, he's made his own bed and he needs to lie in it. If he doesn't do this, he's going to get himself into a great deal of trouble with the Scottish Government, the SNP's partners in the government, the Green Party. But look, this is not popular with the public, given that the SNP is going backwards in the polls already. I think it's going to create some problems for him. It's, as I said already, going to create problems in the back benches. The Conservatives are furious about it. They say it's just another attempt to distract from the great civil war that's going on within the SNP. So, yeah, it was, as I've said, not unexpected, but it's going to cause a huge number of problems in a party that's beset with problems already.
Yeah, I'm just looking at that recent opinion poll by Panel Base for the Sunday Times, suggesting that 18% of Scottish voters think that Humza Yousaf should launch a legal challenge, while 44% said that he should abandon the reforms, 24% believing a compromise should be found with the UK government. Is he the type of First Minister who might lean eventually towards a compromise, do you think?
I think what's going to happen with this is if it goes to the Scottish court first, it would need to go through the outer house, then the inner house, and could end up in the Supreme Court, we could be looking at a timetable that's maybe even a couple of years long. So it may be that this will take such a long time. The Scottish Government could eventually lose it. I think one of the big groups of people who are losing in the meantime are the people it's really designed to help, because nothing will happen in this front in terms of any advancement in their rights. And the issue will continue to be a running sore for the SNP running up to the next general election.
Yeah, I mean, John, it is a very divisive issue. People feel strongly about this on one side or the other. You mentioned the word civil war in terms of where the SNP is at the moment. Is that really how you see it?
There's a huge split in the SNP. I mean, you can't pick up a paper any day of the week now to find more about woes and troubles in the SNP. Yesterday, the party made a series of appointments within party headquarters. They appointed a replacement on an interim basis for Nicola Sturgeon's husband, and appointed a continuity candidate, as Labour called it, another figure from the Sturgeon area. In another senior role, they appointed the wife of the current Minister for Independence, who Hamza appointed last week. The woes continue. There were calls yesterday for forensic accountants to be brought in to examine the party finances, calls for the business convener of the party, who is an official who controls the appointments that I'm just talking about, to be replaced. This goes on and on and on, and Parliament comes back next week, and some of these issues, including that gender recognition issue, will get an airing in the Parliament. So there is more division to come. There's a by-election possibly coming up in Rutherglen. Of course, the SNP now needs to get itself ready for a general election next year.
Yeah.
Humza Yousaf's got a full entry.
He certainly has, and you're going to be busy. John, I'm going to send Frank, Early Breakfast Club member number 423, round to yours for the popcorn then. Is that okay?
I'm looking forward to it.
Right. Always good to catch up with you. John Boothman, thank you very much. He is the Sunday Times Scotland political correspondent. Right, we will